Now, in South Australia, they've declared a second emergency. They've had the COVID-19 emergency running for nearly 2 years. Now the state has declared a flood emergency. There have been staggering amounts of rains right across South Australia, but especially in the desert areas of the north, and they've triggered major flooding in the north of South Australia and in the Northern Territory. The Stewart Highway, that bitumen strip linking South Australia to the Territory, is cut, and so is the train line, the Ghan railway line. So supplies to Alice Springs and Darwin are cut off. Trucks are having to take a 3,000 kilometre detour through New South Wales and Queensland to get supplies up to the Territory. And the RAAF is starting airdrops today to Cooper Pedy and other desert towns where there's no way to get access by train or by truck. Let's go to Alice Springs now and catch up with that great town's mayor, Matt Paterson. Matt, thanks for joining us. This has happened plenty of times before, I suppose, but with the train line and the road out, how tough is it in Alice Springs in terms of basic foodstuffs and the like?
Well, g'day, Chris. Thanks for having me. It's a great day to be a duck, let me say that. It's awfully wet. At the moment, we're not at crisis level. We do have fresh produce on the shelves as of yesterday afternoon, so there is a limit for purchasing fresh food and fresh produce, but the community's been fantastic, obviously just taking what they need, and everyone's getting by so far.
And what about the water levels in and around Alice? Is the Todd River flowing? Yeah,
it is. So I'm not sure if you realise, a couple of months ago we had a really big downpour. We had 100 mils overnight, so the river went right up, but it's just started flowing this morning. So we've got a few causeways shut, but we've had probably 80 mil, I think, over the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's an amazing sight in the desert when it's flooding. A lot of people will be keen to see that and also see what happens to the country afterwards. But it's this practical issue now of not just foodstuffs, but other essential supplies, medical supplies and the like, and people wanting to get in and out. Now, trucks can get around to the Territory through New South Wales and Queensland. Do you think there's going to be any need at any stage for airlifts into Alice Springs? They're going into Cooper Pedy and some other desert outposts in South Australia. Do you think there'll be a need to fly stuff into Alice Springs?
I know that the Commissioner has been speaking to the federal government. It's my understanding about having the Army on standby if needed. It doesn't look like it's going to be required at this stage, but we'll just keep on playing it by ear and just waiting patiently. I think that, the worry is they went around to Queensland and they got turned around because of the rain. So at the moment, we are surviving and everyone's staying quite patient. So we'll just keep waiting and hopefully it doesn't come to that stage. But it is good to know that the Northern Territory government are having that discussion with different organisations, different stakeholders, just in case it is required.
It is indeed, Matt, because there's more rain forecast, so this crisis is not over just yet. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Good on you. Thank you very much for having me.